Hi, Jules.
Hello.
Hi, Nat. How are you?
Good. How are you, Bonya?
I'm all right.
Good.
Alive.
How are your legs?
Oh, don't ask, please.
You feeling
Shall
it?
we not talk about my it's good, but it's bad,
Yeah. You worked.
Yeah, you worked me really hard today. So it's one of those, like I love going there, but the moment I have to do certain things, like especially squats, because it's
Yeah.
like, I think mentally is the most challenging thing for me to like squat really low with heavy weight
Right.
on my back. But I did 50 kilos today, so I'm pleased with myself.
That's impressive. That's good.
Yeah, I'm still 12 and a half kilos away from my max,
Yeah.
like where I was before lockdown. But it's not, it's kind of, I can see myself going there again.
Yeah. It's good that at least you're working towards that and you're building that strength. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be, I still give myself probably about less than 3 months. I should be able to squat it again.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about holding any weight, it's also about like technically, it's like very particular about the technique. So it's not like, just doing something, but actually doing it really well. So
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's really good.
yeah, so I'm very, very pleased about it. And everything around it, like presses and all this, it's just
Yeah.
so dead leg, Natalie, dead leg.
I know that feeling. I do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But I mean, after the first, I mean, it's my third training session, so I kind of know what to expect. But the first one, oh my God, like first 4 days, I just like I didn't even want to look at my legs, if you know what I mean? It was so bad.
Yeah.
But then, it's better.
It's
Do
funny.
we have anyone in the waiting room?
We've got, so hang on. Oh, there's, hi Jules. Can you hear us? Hello. You're oh, you're looking at the TV. Okay, so we can see you on the camera to the side.
But it's okay. I mean,
Okay, it's
for
good.
me, in terms of the view, it's much
Yeah,
better because
the
I
view's
can see
good.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. So Jules is here. Sarah emailed, she's playing golf, she can't make it. Caroline is not coming. We had Kathy and 2 other registrations, which I don't know if they are joining. So there's possibly 3 more.
Okay, let's wait because they should be joining now, really.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've got there's 8 registrations total now, so that's it's just whether
building up, which is good.
Hmm?
Shall we building up? So we
Yes.
give them 1 more minute and then let's just do this,
Yeah, exactly.
Because we'll be training our glutes today.
Yeah, this one, I'm sure I'll feel this one. The glutes, my
You
nemesis.
will. Yeah. It's one of it's my nemesis as well, because especially the left one, because that's when I had my injury, and since then I'm obsessed with training it.
My it's my left is tight as well. It's all my left.
Yeah, it's just somehow it's always the thing, isn't it? It's just always one side is more than the other side. Yeah, that's I've got also leg discrepancy, so that's contributes a little bit as well. We have someone joining.
Welcome, Mara. Welcome.
Mara.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Welcome. Lovely to meet you. So we've had 3 people email saying they can't make it. Someone's playing golf, one's got tied up at work, various people. There might be 2 others joining as well. So we'll start in 1 minute. But lovely to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. And we will start shortly. Just to check, do you have a hand towel handy?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great.
Hand towel. Yeah, I'm just gonna. There's another person joining. Lovely.
There you go, Catherine. Wonderful.
Okay. Hi, Catherine. Can't see anyone.
You can't see her yet. Maybe she'll.
No. Just wondering. There's Mara, Catherine. Hello. Can we see you?
Catherine, we can't see you. We're just wondering if you can hear us.
Yeah, if you prefer to stay offline, it's okay. Just keep us like a sign that you're there.
As long as you know you can see and hear us.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Okay, Mara, quick question before we start. Any previous experience with Pilates? Have you got any previous experience with Pilates?
Yeah, I do it very regularly. So yes.
That's amazing. Awesome. Any injuries, anything I need to be aware of?
Nothing at all. All good here.
Nothing. It's amazing. I love to hear it. I don't hear it very often, that someone have any injuries, any conditions. Amazing. Okay. So my ladies, we're gonna train our glutes today. A very important group of muscles. They are super important for our lower back health. They are big movers, the biggest muscle in our body, big mover, but also stabilizers. So they are part of the core system as well. It's very important we train them. We train them 3-dimensionally from all sides and all planes of movement. So we target smaller fibers, bigger fibers. We train all of them. We have 1 more person joining, which is amazing. I don't have my glasses. I don't see the name. I'm sorry.
Kathy.
Okay, so I've got Catherine and Kathy. Okay. So I've got this little guy here. I'm just gonna quickly show you spine. So
welcome,
glutes,
Kathy.
that's right at the back. Hi. Hello, Kathy. Hello. Just explaining quickly what we're gonna do today. So very often we end up with collapsed lower back, so bending backwards like this, anterior tilt of the pelvis. So we're using the glutes to stabilize and just keep our pelvis in neutral position. So we're gonna work on that, supporting our posture, supporting our ability to balance as well. Super important as we age. Okay, ladies, just double check for me if you've got a hand towel. Important that we've got everything perfect. Okay, my ladies, if you're staying online, it's absolutely fine. Keep yourself safe. It's very important. If you feel uncomfortable, please just stop and then move on to the next movement. So what I will do, I will actually mute you all, so you have a bit of a private space. Mute all, there we go. And you can hear me. I can see some of you, which is great. So I'd like us to all stand up. First, we're gonna start with a standing position to begin with. We're gonna do a little bit of a warm up through mobility of our spine. So I'd like you to stand up straight. You can just bring your arms down by your sides. Maybe let's start with a couple of shoulder rolls. So rolling your shoulders down and back. If you prefer, you can close your eyes. I always like to do it just to imagine myself right in the center of the room, feeling the back wall supporting my back, reaching with the crown of my head towards the ceiling so I feel taller, a bit more supported. Take a deep breath in, nod your head, and then start rolling your spine. And I'd like you to soften through your knees so when you roll down, you are not locked on your knees. Protect lower back this way. Go as far as your body feels comfortable. Hold it for a moment. Maybe nod your head a couple of times, shake your head no a couple of times. And then as through your feet, start rolling the spine all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, until your head comes up all the way last. Let's do this one more time. Inhale at the top, and then as we exhale, again, start with head nod, rolling down, vertebra by vertebra. And this time, as you go all the way to the range that feels comfortable for you, I would like you to tip your body weight tiny little bit more forward. And then see if you can start lifting your sit bones up towards the ceiling. You should feel a bit of a pull at the back of your. See if you can again relax your head, nodding your head a couple of times, shaking your head a couple of times. And then shift your body weight back towards your heels, round your lower spine, create a scoop through your lower abdominals. And then as you transfer your body weight onto your legs, safely roll the spine all the way up, back to upright position here. Lovely. We're going to start our warm-up in all fours. So we're going to start in the four-point kneeling position. Make sure you've got your towel ready. So if your wrists are sensitive and they don't like quite direct pressure, you can rest the heels of your palms on the edge of the towel so the weight bearing is not direct. And what I'd like you to do is start with a couple of those cat and cow stretches, so rounding through the lower spine, creating like a nice ripple effect through the lower back, middle and upper back, and then pushing your hips back. Think of sliding your breastbone forward, lift your gaze, look ahead, creating a bit of an extension. And again, just alternating between those two shapes, rounding through the lower back, and then slowly gliding forward, breastbone travels forward all the way up. Let's go for one more like this. So mobilizing through the lower back, getting it ready, feeling also the work through our hips, and then slowly coming all the way back to neutral position. I'd like you to bring your knees a little bit wider. So spread your knees a little bit wider, joining your feet together. And you might want to move your hands a little bit further forward. Now push your hips towards your heels. Try not to rest on your heels. So stretch your back, stretch your hips. And then as you lift your bottom, you're going to travel forward, transferring your body weight a little bit further forward, pushing your hips a little bit forward as well. And I'm going to make it a little bit more fluid. So pushing your hips to the back. Think of sticking your sit bones out, stretching through your shoulders as you round your lower. Your wrists. Lovely. Go for a couple of, again, warming, lubricating hips, releasing lower back tension. So important that Lovely. And then pushing forward. And then when you're ready, press your hips back. Think of sitting back and then drape your tail over your heels, stretching your lower spine. Just breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. And then come back to all fours. We've got transition. All we're gonna do is lie down on your back. So let me just quickly, so lying on your back, placing your heels in a parallel position. If you have a little bit tighter neck, I suggest you use the towel underneath your head. Like, I'm just gonna move myself a bit further forward. So in this position here, looking for a neutral pelvis to begin with. If you place your palms on the top of hips, you're looking for alignment where your hips and underneath your lower back here. Arms down by your sides. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Make sure your heels are aligned with your sit bones and your knees are pointing up to the ceiling. Let's start very small, just by pressing your lower back into the mat. You should feel your pubic bone pointing towards the ceiling, and then releasing your. You don't want to clench your glutes at this stage. We're warming up already, so this movement should feel very pleasant, a little bit like a stretch to your lower spine. Let's do a couple more of those. And this time, as we round the lower back, I'd like you to press your heels towards the floor, round your lower back a bit more, start lifting your bottom. Now, think of dragging your heels towards your sit bones. Even though your legs are not moving physically, that feeling of dragging your legs towards your bottom will engage your glutes and hamstrings a little bit more. So you're coming to your first pelvic curl or your first bridge position here. See if at the top of your range you can round your lower back a little bit more. So we want to open the front of your hips as much as we can. Big breath in, and then as we exhale, gradually peel your spine down, vertebra by vertebra, stretching your spine against the surface underneath you, keeping this curl around the lower back all the way till the end until you can release it back to neutral. And we're going again, rounding through the lower spine. Press your heels into the floor and then think of dragging them against the surface towards your bottom. So your energy travels forward over your knees towards your toes. And again, at the top of your range, see if you can round your lower back a little bit more. You want to feel very active through the back of your legs. Inhale there. And then as you exhale, roll the spine down gradually. Don't let the gravity collapse on your spine. You want to feel in charge, in control of your movement. Release it back to neutral. My ladies, we're gonna go there one more time. Inhale. And then as we exhale, we round through the lower back. Should feel a little bit easier to articulate each vertebra at a time, stretching the front of your thighs, stretching the front of your hips. Let's hold it here. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck. Imagine you've got a pillow or yoga block between your inner thighs and then gently squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. I just want them active. Hold it here. See if you can now take your arms off the floor and then reach them over your head. Now imagine I'm standing right behind you, pulling your wrists away from your knees. Give me a nice full front line stretch. Keep curling your pubic bone to nose. And then as you exhale, gradually release your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Don't let the spine collapse down. Control your release all the way down until your lower back touches the floor so you can release it all the way back to your neutral. If you have space around you, stretch your arms out to the position. If you don't, just keep your arms like a golf post, like a cactus shape, pressing down towards the ground. Now, take your right ankle across your left knee, figure 4, and then fold both legs to one side, creating a twist through your waistline, allowing your lower back and your glutes and your hips to stretch. Come back to the center. Don't change your legs, just fold them in opposite direction. And then feel deep stretch through your glutes, through your waist. And we are traveling from side to side, just a couple more times, opening our hips, activating those muscles, rotators around our upper thighs. And we're gonna make this one our last, so make sure you are even on both sides. So twist for me, one side, other side, good. And then back to the center so we can swap legs. Release your right ankle, bring your left one across your right knee, figure 4, and we're doing the same thing. So traveling from side to side. And just in your mind, start scanning your body. Just observe which side feels tighter. Don't judge it, just observe and note which side feels a little bit more blocked. We're trying to breathe to any tight section in our body, releasing it gradually. Gravity will help us with releases. And again, we're gonna make this one our last, so make sure you are even on both sides. And then coming back to the center, uncrossing your left ankle. Now lengthen the back of your neck, keep your arms as they are, lift your right leg up to tabletop position. Right knee over your right hip, shin parallel with the ground. Push your lower back slightly more towards the floor so you can lift your left leg up as well. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Spine twist supine. Reach both knees to your right side, allowing your left hip to come off the ground. Try to keep your left shoulder grounded. And then using your oblique muscles, your waistline muscles, pull your legs back to the center and give me same twist to your left. So we are isolating your upper body from your lower body. Upper body gives you stability while we mobilize the lower back. Now see if pressing your arms a little bit more actively towards the floor helps you. Keep watching the back of your neck. Don't let your neck arch. And again, we've got one more on each side. We are warming our stabilizers before we work our lovely. Releasing one leg down without dropping it. Head, the other leg follows. This time our hands go behind our head. Interlace your fingers. Try to keep your elbows slightly in your peripheral vision. Bring your shoulders down and back. Lower back stays neutral, so don't tuck your pelvis. Give me a little bit of a gap underneath the lower back. As we exhale, we lift head, chest, and neck off the ground, I would say around the bra level height. Now, make sure that in this position, your lower back isn't tucking. We are working on neutral lower spine while bending upper spine over the lower back. And then slowly release it all the way back down. And again, we are lifting head, neck, upper back, and tiny bit of your middle back off the floor while lower back stays neutral. And release it back down. Keep going. Use the breath to assist you. As you exhale, it should be a little bit easier to bend over and release it all the way down. My ladies, one more time. Exhale, lift up and hold it. Let's challenge our stability more. You're gonna lift your right leg up to tabletop position. Draw your abdominals in so you can lift your left leg up as well. Let's do a few of those chest lifts without our feet grounded. So lower your chest back down and then lift it up. As you're coming all the way down, try to rest the back of your head in your hands. So when you lift off the floor, your head is heavy in your hands. Otherwise, we're risking pulling against our neck, which we want to avoid. Let's go for 2 more of those. And then down. And we've got one last like this, lifting up and hold it here. My ladies, a bit of an extra challenge on the top of your chest lift. We're gonna add rotation. Think of pivoting your upper back over your hips. So rotate your right, come back to the center, rotate your left. Now, trick here is to keep your pelvis absolutely still. So your rotation is tiny. Bringing shoulder to opposite hip. It's not the elbow, it's the If you're shaking at this point, that's how it's gonna feel. Lovely. Let's go for last one. And then center, release one leg down, release the other leg down, release your upper back all the way down. So we should feel nice and warm around our trunk. Let's go back to those glutes. We're gonna activate them a bit more. Arms down by your sides. I'd like you to transfer your body weight a little bit more to your left leg, pushing your left heel down towards the ground, taking your right leg up to tabletop position. Arms are very active against the surface. Round your lower back, and then as you push your left heel down, lift your bottom up. You want to squeeze the section between your glute and the hamstring, and then release it down with control. And again, press your heel. You should feel the feedback going straight into your glutes, and then release it back down. It's not a very high lift, so we're not going very high, but we really want to feel the connection between the heel pushing into the floor and the response coming from closed straight or straight into your glutes. Good. Let's go for two more. Lift up, squeeze, 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 squeeze your glutes. And then down, we've got one last. Lift up and hold it. Now, make sure that the knee of your stabilizing leg is not leaning out. Keep it dead in the center. Can we lower the right leg down to tap the floor and lift it back up? So it's a hinge from your right hip joint to tap the floor, and then we lift it back. Make sure that your right hip isn't dropping any lower. I know it's a lot to think about. Let's go for two more of those. And lift. One more. And as you lower your right leg down, press it to the floor. Transfer your body weight onto your right leg. Round your lower spine a bit more and lift your left leg up. And we're going from the top. Hinge down. Lower your bottom. Tap the floor. Dig your right heel round your lower back to hinge and lift. And then release it all the way down. And then press your heel to lift your bottom and squeeze your glutes. And we go there again. Down, down, down. And we lift up. My ladies, we've got two more of those. Almost there. And up. Use your arms and lift. Let's do this one last time. And then lift up and hold it. Now hinging from your left hip, lower the leg, tap the floor, and lift. Keep your right knee straight. Make sure it points up, doesn't lean to the side. Working on our big movers, your big glutes, glute max, and our small stabilizing glute on the side of our hip. Good. Let's go for two more. And the last one. Lower your left leg down, hold it. Now, walk your legs together. So imagine you've got one limb. Squeeze your inner thighs against one another. Round your lower back a little bit more. Calf raises. Lift your heels off the floor and press them down. Pelvis stays where we keep curling our pubic now. Activate glutes and hamstrings together. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go for three. Almost there. Good. Two more. And we've got one last And then press your heels down, round your lower back, and roll the spine down, vertebra by vertebra, controlling the release. Hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a recovery here. Roll your back against the surface, couple rolls on one side, couple in opposite direction. Well done. Keep your knees on the top of your right knee. Send your left leg away from you. And as you hug your right knee to your chest, see if you can round your lower back. As you push it towards the floor, you should feel stretch coming from your left hip. So when we work glutes, really what we work on is the whole pelvic complex, so muscles around the hips. So we work our quads, our inner thighs. Today the emphasis is glutes, but really it's always all about the muscles around the leg attaching themselves to our hips. Now move your hands to the back of your right leg, elongate your right leg up towards the ceiling. Think of pressing your leg towards your hands and hands against the leg so you can functionally stretch your hamstrings. See if in this position you can still maintain your neutral alignment in your hips, working your hamstrings. Okay. We're ready for one leg circles. When you're ready, take your arms outside the frame of your body. If you struggle with your leg being straight, you're welcome to bend your knee. And off we go. Bring the leg across the midline. Take the leg down. Take the leg out your frame. And then bring it back to the center. If you need to modify, you can even work with your knee bend. So what I would like you to pay attention to is the left side of your body being stable. Make sure your left leg is pushing actively towards the ground. So we're not rolling our hips. We keep the stability. Let's go for one more this way. Pause it and reverse direction. Go in opposite direction as well. Full circumduction to the hip. Circular movement. This is our most mobile and deepest joint in our body. We need to keep it happy, keep moving the leg in circular motion. So we use full range all the time. Let's go for two more. And then the last one. And then as you arrive all the way to the top, bend your knee. We're gonna swap sides. So slide your right leg away from you. Let's start with a little bit of a decompression and stretch. You can place your fingers on the top of your left knee and then push your lower back into the mat. The more you round it, the more you should feel the stretch through the front of your right hip. Couple more deep breaths here, thinking of the right leg becoming longer and longer as if you were stretching it out of your hip joint. And then let's place your hands at the back of your left leg, elongating the left leg up to the ceiling. And then probably noticing the difference between your right and left side, which is fine, they will be different. I like to work also my ankle in this position, so my hamstring stretches functionally and strengthens at the same time. Also keep watching your neck. You don't want to arch your neck. Functionally, you are connected. Our hamstring and neck muscles are connected through posterior chain in our body. So if hamstring feels tight, we're likely to bend our necks. Make sure it doesn't happen. Good. This time, flex your foot, hold it here. Again, micro bend your knee or fully bend your knee, whatever works best for you. Arms outside your frame. Let's go to the midline of your body, down, around, and then up. And as before, you pay attention to stabilizing side. You're moving your leg, but really what you're working on is stability. So stability comes from the leg being active, your right oblique working for you as well, making sure that the side doesn't wobble. Let's go for two more. One more. Then we're going to reverse. Let's reverse in opposite direction. One leg circle. Naturally, the left side has been tight in my body and always will be tight in my body. So I work with what I've got on the day. Our body changes from day to day. Let's go for 2 more. And then last one. Lovely. And then when you're ready, bend your knee and release your foot all the way down. Let's go for this little hug one more time. Place your hands on the top of your knees, hug your knees to the chest, and then circulate your lower back against the surface, few in one direction, few in opposite direction. Now we can train our glutes even if we're training our abdominals. So we're gonna combine those exercises together. Place your hands on the top of your knees. Draw your chin towards your chest and then lift your head and chest and neck off the mat. Going for a little bit abdominal series, you're gonna move your hands on the top of your right knee, extending your left leg out. As you round your lower back a little bit more, you should be able to feel the glutes on your left leg a little bit more. Now, as we exhale, we switch those legs, going for single leg stretches. Think of pushing your lower back against the mat, and as you push it, each time you extend your leg out, you should feel your glutes working as well. So we open the front of the hip while activating the back of the neck. Exhale and exhale. Let's go for 4 more. And let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. And we'll go for 1 last. Let's make it even 1 extra. Bend your knees. Hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Now, extend your left leg out. Rotate your trunk towards your right knee. And then a crisscross. As we exhale, we switch. And we switch. And remember, shoulder to opposite hip. So you don't want to touch your elbow into your knee. You want to bring your shoulder to opposite hip. Keep the width across your collarbones as you stretch those hips for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 more. And then bend your knees. Hands on the recovery. We're not done yet. And again, step, lift your head, your chin off the floor. Take your hands behind your head. Now, from your feet, form a little V. As we exhale, we're gonna push your legs out, squeezing your glutes at the back. And then as you bend your knees, you're gonna bring your heels towards your groin. Feel your glutes firing as you push your legs out. And then we squat back in. And again, we press out, inner thighs, and back in. We've got 4 more. And back. And 3. And back. So your glutes are working on the way back as well as they are working on the way out. Almost there. And then press and hold it. Hold it there for me for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, hands on the top, and then hug your knees to the chest. Decompress your lower back. Lovely. Placing hands on the top of your knees, bend your elbows, lift your head to your chest and your neck, and then in one swift motion, bring yourself to seated position. Lovely. Now, placing your hands right behind your back. So if you struggle with your wrists at this point, you can turn your palms away from each other. What's very important for me, that you are not collapsing in your shoulders. We're looking for slight thoracic extension here. Move your feet tiny little bit away from your bottom. So we've got a little bit more space to move our spine. We're gonna do modified back support. Now, think of lifting your breastbone up to the ceiling. You can lift your gaze to assist it, Round your lower spine, lift your hips off the floor, squeeze your glutes at the top. Imagine your hips can breathe. You are breathing through your hips to the ceiling and then hinging back down. Try not to collapse to your shoulders. Again, push down to lift up. Nice opening and rolling motion. Squeeze. Imagine you've got yoga block between your inner thighs. I want them active. And then hinge back down. Lovely. And we go again 3 more times. And scoop. Round your lower back. Pubic bone. Lift, 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 lift. Squeeze your glutes. And then hinge back down. One last. Come on. And we lift all the way up. Squeeze your glutes. Hold it here. If it feels good for you, you can tilt your head back, stretch your neck muscles, but only if it feels good to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then hinge all the way back to seated position. Interlace your fingers, decompress your wrists. We've got full shoulder bridge, working those glutes a little bit more. Then we're going to turn to our side position here. Quick transition, you can do it with your knees bent or your legs straight, up to you. Take your arms in front of you, round your spine, and then as you roll back, ground your spine into the floor. Good. I'm just going to slide it down, otherwise I'll disappear from the screen. There we go. Awesome. We've done a little bit of a preparation and warm up with our shoulder bridge prep. Let's do the full range now. So transfer your body weight again onto your left leg. Bring your right leg up to tabletop position. Round your lower spine so you can lift your bottom up.
Sonia, did we lose you? Hang on, you're on mute, my love.
Yeah. Now I'm back. Sorry,
Oh,
it
cool.
was my Wi-Fi collapsing. Sorry. Let's
Cool.
go back to it. I was in the full swing with those legs. Let's go back to our class. When you're ready, bottom up, round your lower back. It was your left foot down, right leg up. Let's do 3 extras. Lower the leg, pointing your toes. Flex your foot and return. Let's go for 2 more. And then back. 1 more. And return. Imagine your right heel digging towards the ceiling. I would like you to push your left heel and then lift your hips up. We'll create a tiny thrust. We've got 8 of them. We've got 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Squeeze and hold it. Feel the burn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your right knee. Place your right foot down. Hold it here. That's our recovery. When we transfer body weight onto the right leg, take your left leg up to tabletop position. You want to keep a little bit of a pelvic curl here so the load doesn't go into your lower back. Elongate your left leg up to the ceiling, toes pointed. Lower the leg down. See if the side responds similar or a bit different. Always check whether you're keeping your hips leveled. So the range on this side might feel a bit different. Keep pointing your right knee up to the ceiling. Think of digging your right heel to the floor. We want the right side to keep you stabilized. Lovely. Going breathless. Let's go for 2 more. And up. 1 more. and up. Keep your foot flexed. Imagine digging your left heel to the ceiling and then squeeze your right heel to the floor, little thrust, and up, and up, and up, and 5, and 4, and 3. 2 more. Last one, squeeze and hold. Round your lower back a little bit more. Dig your right heel a little bit more. And then bend your left knee and place your left foot back down. And round your lower back a bit more to feel those glutes and hamstrings. And then roll the spine all the way down. Take your arms out to T position, legs together, and then fold your knees from side to side just to decompress your back. Just a few of those. Side, and then the other side. And this time, fold your legs towards the screen, and then let's roll onto your side. This is where you want your towel ready. I always use my arm, then I pop a towel between shoulder and ear here. Starting with just basic side lifts, just to keep our abdominals active. You want to take your legs slightly forward. So your legs are about 10-20 degrees forward so you can see them. Double check if your toes are aligned. If they aren't, if the top leg seems a little bit shorter, bring your top hip a bit further forward. Top arm supports you against the floor. And then as you hinge from your waistline, lift both legs up and then bring them down. And then hinge from your waistline, lift legs, lower them down. And again. And down. So we are working through side abdominals, through those oblique muscles to lift your legs. I want this movement of your legs to be secondary. Side tilt to the pelvis is the one we're really working on. 2 more. And the last one, hold it, hold it. Round your lower back a little bit more so that lift of your legs doesn't go into your lower back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your legs all the way down and then bend your knees. Feet slightly underneath your sit bones. Place your hand on the top of your pelvis. Keep your ankles together and then going full clamshell opener straight away. So we are working the side muscle, side glute, called glute med. You're stabilizing glute, your rotator and stabilizer at the same time. So we use this muscle when we walk, when we move our pelvis in a 45-degree angle and create a step. But very often we have this muscle very weak, inactive. It often seizes up, creating compression on the lower spine. So we need to work it towards a bit more endurance. We've got 2 more. I'm holding my pelvis to keep pushing my hip forward because I tend to cheat and roll my pelvis slightly to the back. And we've got a bit of a change of a position. From this alignment, you want to bring your knees the same level as your hips. So it's like a 90-degree angle. And push your hips slightly to the back. So basically stick your bottom a bit more up. Again, hand on the hip, we're going for a side lift. Now, see if you can switch off your foot. And what I mean by it, try not to lead with your foot movement. Try to keep it as relaxed as you can. So the whole load comes from your side glutes. The movement will feel much more intense in your glutes. We've got 2 more. And on the last one, we're going to lift and hold it. Now imagine your knee being glued to the screen in front of you, and you're going to draw little circles. Keep the movement small. So it's actually your hip drawing the circle, but it's nice to imagine the knee doing it. Let's go for 1 more this direction. We're going to reverse it. We're going to reverse. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. Internal rotation. Knee points towards the bottom knee, ankle to ankle. Again, both legs are working. So think of the bottom leg pushing towards the ground. Feel the difference. So you also want to use the glutes that rests on the floor. You can make it more active by pushing the bottom leg. Let's go for one more. Knee down, knee up. We're gonna hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg. Now take your top knee towards your chest and then stretch your glutes. Give yourself a bit of a stretch. As we're already in this position, you're gonna grab your top ankle and then pull your heel towards your bottom. Think of rounding through the lower back a little bit more. The more you posteriorly tilt your pelvis, the more you're gonna feel the stretch through the front of your thigh without collapsing to your lower back. It's very important we practice that. So we stretch the front of the hip. Good. And we've got to transition to seated. So you want to use your bottom hand, push yourself to seated position here, coming to your Z sit alignment. Now, if you struggle with your hips in this position, probably the best way is to lift your hip that sits a little bit lower with a towel so you feel a bit more grounded. Once we've got this alignment, we're going to work a bit on mobility. So I'd like you to take your arms out to T position, lift out of your waistline. You're going to land your hands on the mat and then add a bit of a rotation. So creating a nice pivot through your breastbone, reaching long, and then slowly coming back to your T, push away from the ground. You're going to land on your opposite side. Lift up and over, stretching your waistline. So you want both hip bones leveled. And let's flow a little bit faster. So arms to T, stretch out, landing on your palm, and then pivot. And then going back to your T, pushing off the floor, reach up and over, long waist. And we're gonna do this one more time. Reach, reach, land, and add a bit of a pivot. You've got your mermaid here. I always try to squeeze the sneaky mermaid into my class. I love this movement. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Nice stretch through the waistline and a bit of a break for our hips. Lovely. Come back to the center and we're gonna repeat the whole sequence on the other side. So make sure you've got your towel ready. Setting is everything in Pilates, so it's very important we got it all right. Otherwise, we might not even feel the movement where we want to feel it. So arm, towel, head for neck alignment here. Make sure you can see your toes and your top leg should be as long as your bottom one. If it's not happening, so push your hip tiny bit more forward. Bottom waistline slightly lifted, hand in front of you. Now, as you push your waistline down, legs are lifting up. Now, if you think about this movement, it's a little bit like your roll-up position, but then on the side. See if you can round your lower back and try to use your glutes to support that side lift. So you want to feel not only your inner thighs, your outer thighs, but your bottom working as well. So the more we flex those glutes, the more we can use our core, the more we can connect transverse abdominis. So like I explained at the beginning of our session, glutes are part of your core. We need to train it. Let's go for one more. Lift up and hold it, hold it, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your legs all the way down, bend your knees. So feet slightly further back. Good. Hand on the top of your hip. And we're going for a clamshell open. So the session will be a little bit longer. We started a bit later. So just stay with me, bear with me. Good. We want to feel. I like to actually tactile cue myself, holding onto the side glute, making sure my brain recognizes the contraction Always good to stimulate the muscle and make sure the brain connects to it as well. Let's go for 2 more. 1 more. And then lower both legs. Let's move to this position with your 90-degree angle, pushing your hips tiny bit further back. So sticking your bum a bit more out. Place your hand and we go for the side hinge. Up and then down. And then up and then down. Lovely. Now work on your foot being fully relaxed. My foot is almost like sort of like dangling, completely free of tension. So I make sure I'm not cheating, using my ankle, using my foot to lift. I'm trying to make sure that only the side glute is working through this hinge. We've got 2 more here, my ladies. Last one, hold it. Now imagine your knee glued to the screen. Let's go for 8 circles in one direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's reverse. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. Knee to knee. Ankle, ankle. Pelvis square. And ankle. Lovely. Very nice, Mara. Like that. And down. And up. So internal, still working the glutes, to external. We've got 2 more. And out. 1 more. And this one, it's a longer hold. Feel the burn. Feel the burn. Hold your bottom. Let it work for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg. Hug your knee to your chest. Stretch the glutes. Give it a little bit of a stretch. Massage. Do whatever you need to do. And we've got a quad stretch as well. Nice one to do. So as you pull your heel towards the bottom, work on this posterior tilt. So work on rounding your lower back. So you really feel the stretch through the front of your thigh. You shouldn't feel it in your lower back. And then you can hold onto your foot, use your bottom hand. And then as you push yourself off the floor, quick transition to a mermaid. Then you can use your towel to level your pelvises. I tend to do it. It's just nicer to feel those hips aligned. And this time we're going to do slightly different mermaid. All we're going to do is taking your arms out. Yeah, reaching out again, landing on hand, adding a little bit of a rotation here, landing, adding a bit of a pivot. Good. And then out, up, and over. And then see if you can rotate your spine here a little bit more as well. So stretching hips, stretching QLs. And then back to the center. And again, reach out of your waistline, land safely on your hand. Add this nice pivot. So rotation to thoracic. And then going back to your T. Pushing off the floor, you're going to land on your hand again. And as you lift up and over, add a slight rotation as well. So it's got a nice QL stretch. Lovely. And we've got 1 more like that. So arms into your T, reach out, land, and then add a nice pivot. And then back to your T. Beautiful, pushing off, landing on your hand, up, and then slight rotation. And then back to the center. We've got the easy transition, aligning knees on the top of one another. And we're gonna flip off to 4-point kneeling position here. Let's go for a quick rest pose, just to stretch those glutes. So feet together, knees slightly out. Child's pose or rest pose, just an elongation through the lower back. You can feel a nice traction. I always imagine draping my tailbone over my heels. Arms are very active, so we do provide a little bit of release for the lower spine. And then when you're ready, come back to your 4-point kneeling position. We're gonna train this junction between glutes and hamstrings. So lower yourself onto your forearms. You can interlace your fingers. I'd like you to think of dragging your forearms against the mat towards yourself. So we avoid collapsing to our neck and shoulder joint. We want a nice stability here. I want you to think of your weaker side and send your weaker leg straight behind you. For me, this is my left leg, so I'm working with my weaker leg first. Toes are pointed, and we're gonna lift the leg up. And I want you to think of lifting the leg long. And the top of your range, round your lower back a little bit more, try to squeeze this under butt section. Then lower the leg lightly, tap the floor, and then lift up again. So it's a hip extension with a straight leg. I always imagine pushing the back of my leg into the ceiling. And as my foot comes with the alignment, my hip around my lower back even more to emphasize this pelvic curl. So I do feel my glutes working in this position. So it shouldn't be any collapse through the lower back. Good, keep lifting. Now watch your knee, you bend your knee slightly, try to straighten the leg fully. No bending through the knee. Yes, much better. Last one, lift up and hold it. Round your lower back and then send the leg behind you. Imagine I'm standing behind you, pulling your ankle. Hold, hold, hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg. Bend your knee. Send your opposite side out. Now, lightly touching the floor with your toes. And then lift the leg up at the top of your range. Round your lower back. And then lower it, tap the floor. So we're aiming again for the length, trying to keep the leg as straight as possible. So imagine you want to touch the wall behind you. That's it. The moment the leg lifts, you want to keep rounding your pubic bone to nose so the lower back doesn't collapse when the leg lifts a bit higher. That's it. Let's go for 3 more. And down. 2 more. And down. 1 last. Lift up and hold it. I'm standing behind you, pulling your ankle, round your lower back a bit more. Keep lengthening the leg. Hold it, hold it, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg. Bend your knee. Quick stretch. Push your hips back. We're not staying here for too long. We have nicely prepped glutes. We have them prepped for plank. So come to all fours. If you struggle with your wrists, you're welcome to either fold the mat in front of you, double the mat, and rest the heels of your palms on the edge. It's always a nice tip if you're struggling with weight bearing. Otherwise, join me. So give me that feeling of pushing the floor away from you. So the back of your neck is supporting the ceiling. Send one leg behind you, tuck your toes under. This is where you want to switch on your glutes already. So load the toe and then round your lower back. You're gonna send your other leg out. The more you round your lower back and curl your pubic bone to nose, the safer your lower back will be. Slide your right shin against the mat, pull the leg into you, push the leg out. And we alternate. Full front support. Keep your shin very close to the surface so you can keep your lower back rounded. Let's go for 4 more. Lift your gaze. Try to look at the top of the mat so the neck doesn't collapse. And again. And again. We've got 1 more on each side. I don't know how about you, but I'm really sweating here. Lovely. Hold it. Hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend one knee, bend the other knee before you push back. Turn down. Stretch your wrists. Well done. Coming to a prone position, resting on your belly. Make sure you've got your towels with you. So we're going to work our back extension. First legs, then upper body, and then we're going to combine it together, and then we're done. So one more move, and we continue. Starting easy. So interlace your fingers, place your hands down, and then forehead on your hands. Think of pressing your pubic bone towards the mat a little bit more. And then as you press the back of your legs off the floor, imagine lifting them towards the ceiling, and then lower them both down. And again, round your lower back, lift, 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 squeeze, and release it back down. So working through your glutes, pushing your hips up to release back down. Let's go for 4 more. And down. And 3. And down. 2 more. Last one. And lower all the way down. Keep your legs down on the mat. Now, glue your forehead to your hands. Elbows slightly wider. Now, press your pubic bone towards the mat and lift your upper body off the mat. It's a small hover. And then release it all the way down. And again, upper body only. Lift your upper body off the ground. Forehead glued to your hands. And release it down. And again, lift, lift, lift. And then down. Lovely. Give me 2 more of those. So upper body lifts, elbows wide, and then down. 1 more. Lift up and hold it. Pubic down towards the mat. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it. Let's combine our upper and lower body together, and we're done. Forehead on the towel in front of you. Arms are reaching to corners of the mat. Legs the same. So you look a little bit like a starfish from the top. Round your lower spine so your pubic bone points towards the mat, protecting lower back. As we inhale, we're going to lift those legs to hover off the mat. Lift your forehead, lift your gaze, and see if you can lift your arms off the floor. And we hold it, squeezing your glutes for 10, and 9, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your arms, lower your legs, legs together, palms by your shoulders, so you can push back, sit back on your heels. Stretching your lower spine, draping your tailbone over your feet. And then carefully transfer yourself to 4-point kneeling position. And this time, as we work through the spine, we'll work in all directions. So a bit of a mobility here. Imagine that you are moving your spine as if you were placed inside a barrel. So you want to trace the barrel inside, going around. Circular motion, you can push back a little bit. So just basically a bit of a free movement. Align all curves of the spine and neutral alignment. Tuck your toes under. Push the floor away from your knees of the mat, and then stick your bottom up to the ceiling. Thinking of pressing your heels towards the ground, a bit of a downward dog stretch back to your hamstrings. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Soften your knees, and then roll your spine all the way up, back to up. Hope you can feel this.
That was wonderful.
I felt it. I definitely.
I did, yeah. The Kathy, how did you find it? Don't know. If you're mute. Oh, there you are.
There you go. Sorry. Good. Great. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I
you,
when we're lying on our side, the moving the hips like that was agony.
It is. Glutes are big muscles. They're biggest muscles in our body.
Yes.
So they have 3 different layers. The biggest one at the back is the mover, and then 2 layers underneath it. There are stabilizers and movers at the same time. So we need to work them as they are built. So 3-dimensionally, that's why I train them always in all planes of movement, meaning it's a killer always. It will always be that.
No, it was excellent. So
My
thank
pleasure.
you.
I love training glutes. It's probably my favorite group of muscles to train.
Is
As
it?
much as I love training everything, this one is like one of my absolute favorites.
I find my hips are the tightest, so I find that they're like probably need it the most. So
Yes,
good.
correct. Yeah, we all need it because we said like the lifestyle we have is mostly seated. So most of us, like pretty much all the society, the population are trained, suffers from so-called sleepy glute syndrome or lazy glute syndrome. So people who come to me with the back problems, issues with the hips are very likely be suffering from very inactive glutes, undertrained glutes. So to wake them up, that's the one journey, and then actually to train them properly, it's another story. So we do need to work this group of muscles for sure.
It was wonderful. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And I'll look forward to next week. Thank you, Kathy, for joining us. And
Thank you very much for joining us. Such a
Thank
pleasure.
hope you can join
Any
next week.
questions?
Yeah, any
Thank
questions?
you. Lovely. Thank you.
Good, awesome. Hopefully see you next week. We'll be
Thank
doing
you.
Pilates for osteoporosis, so modification for osteoporosis.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. My pleasure. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Chat.